Welcome back to my channel. I am trying this new format of using text-to-speech voiceover, so it would help if you give me feedback in the comments. Thank you. This video will be a beginner's tips compilation/tutorial. Small disclaimer that this is not a complete beginner's guide. It only contains tutorials and tips that I think will be helpful for beginners to know. Let's start with the composition settings. Click to add new composition. Rename it to whatever you like. Then go down here where you can change the size of your composition. Resize it to whatever you like. Now if you are not sure what to use, check the presets. As you can see, I already have some saved here. If you want to save size presets for easy access, click on this button here. Now for frame rate, you can set it to the usual, which is either 30 or 60, or you can also check your clip for its frame rate and input it, which is what I did here. For the duration, I personally like setting it a bit longer than my audio. Don't worry, I'll show you later how you can adjust your work area. If you're done, press OK, and here you'll see the project panel. You can also see the composition you just made here. To import your clips and audio, you can right-click on the empty space, hover over Import, then choose File. Then you can go ahead and choose your clips. However, another way to do it is by simply going to your file folder and dragging your clip to the panel. Now to start editing, drag your clip to the timeline. For this tutorial I'm just using one of my edits. Select your clip or audio, then press L to see the audio levels. Here you can adjust the amount to lower or increase the volume. You can also access the audio panel and adjust the volume there instead. In order to pre-compose your clip, right-click on it and choose Pre-compose. Choose Move All Attributes and leave this part enabled. Doing so will keep the original length of the clip. If you pre-compose a clip and uncheck the box, it will be pre-composed according to the length of the whole composition. The two things that can make editing easier and faster are presets and keyboard shortcuts. I'm gonna show you a few that I use the most. To see and customize keyboard shortcuts, you can go to Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts, then see which key is assigned to the action you want to do. For example, you can see that my shortcut for applying layer markers is assigned to key number 8. To change yours, search for markers here. Click on it, then press X on the key you don't want to use. After that, drag and drop the key you want to change it to. Here you can see that the key I dragged has been added to the list of usable shortcuts. You can do the same if you want to change the others. Now to mark beats, right-click on the audio layer, choose Keyframe Assistant, then choose Convert Audio to Keyframes. Click on the added layer, press U to show keyframes, then delete the left and right channels. Highlight the keyframes, then go to Graphs, then see where the high points are and mark them using the keyboard shortcut you chose. In my case, it's key number 8. Now you have your beats marked. If you want to delete a marker, right-click on it and choose Delete This or Delete All Markers. You can also click on this to go where your marker is at. If you're not satisfied with where the marker is positioned, you can just drag it where you want it to be. After you're done, lock your markers so that you don't mistakenly move them. If your audio is too fast, you can slow it down by going to the preview panel and changing the preview frame rate to a lower amount. Now you can do the same as earlier, which is finding the high points of the audio keyframes. Don't forget to change the frame rate back after you're done. In order to cut clips, hold Ctrl or Command-Shift, then press D. To delete it, just press Backspace or Delete for Mac. Here are other keyboard shortcuts that I find useful. To go from the end of your clip to the start, just press I. On the other hand, you can press O to go to the end of it. On to what I mentioned earlier, your work area decides what gets rendered in your composition. It is indicated by the time ruler. As you can see here, this is the start of the work area while this is the end. To adjust it, you can simply drag both ends. However, a more simple way to do it is by going to where you want your edit to end and then pressing N. To change the starting point of the work area, just press B. Next, press S to open scale settings. Here you can scale your clips to be bigger or smaller. Press R to see rotation settings and be able to rotate your clip. Pressing T opens opacity settings, which lets you decide the transparency of your clip. Lastly, press P to see position settings and change the position of your clip. The one on the left changes the X positioning while the one on the right changes the Y positioning. To make keyframes, press the clock icon. Highlight the keyframes, then press F9 or right-click. Go to Keyframe Assistant, then Easy Ease. Now you can go and do your graphs. To change the graph type, press this icon next to the eye. Always remember that you can press U to see all of your existing keyframes. In order to add text, you can press this icon here, or go to Layer, New, then click Text. Like so, you can click once to type. However, this will give you less options for the paragraph settings. As you can see when you go to the paragraph panel, there are only 3 options enabled. So, instead of clicking only once to type, you can click and drag until a text box is formed like so. If you check the paragraph panel again, you can see that the Justify options are now enabled. In order to add an adjustment layer, go to Layer, New, and click Adjustment Layer. Go to Effects and Presets, search for the effect you want, then add it. If you have several effects in one adjustment layer, but you want to lower the opacity of only one effect, you can press the arrow next to the adjustment layer, Effects. Press the arrow next to the effect you want to change, Compositing Options. Then here you can adjust the opacity. That's it for this video. I hope it helped. Comment down below if you have other requests. See you next time.